Welcome back to Speak Up Queen, the podcast where we empower, uplift, and celebrate women who have reclaimed their voices to inspire others. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Vanessa Cook, the inspiring owner and holistic healing coach of Soul Revival. Vanessa's personal journey of transformation is a testament to resilience, dedication, and a passion for wellness. She has not only revolutionized, sorry, that's a big word for this Afrikaans brain, her own health, but has made it her mission to empower others to embark on their own healing journeys. Alongside her husband, Vanessa is a devoted foster parent and an advocate for trauma informed care, offering a safe space for others to heal and grow. She's a lover of the great outdoors, a fan of fantasy novels, and a shining example of how purpose and compassion can change lives. Get ready to be inspired by Vanessa's incredible story, practical insights into health and fitness, and her unwavering mission to bring hope and healing to the world. Let's welcome this remarkable queen to the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be on here tonight.
Vanessa, what was the most challenging limiting belief you had to overcome? And how did breaking free from it help you reclaim your voice?
Uh, so I think my most challenging limiting belief was probably the notion that I was like unworthy of my calling or unworthy of being able to help other women. And when I started realizing that it wasn't necessarily about my worth, but my passion for wanting to help women, I was able to transform that I'm not worthy, who do I think I am, into I have this beautiful journey to share with women. I have a passion to uplift other women. And now here I am able to support their journeys and their transformations.
Can you share a moment when words or actions made you feel small and how you found the strength to rise above it?
Yeah, that is a really challenging question. I feel like there are so many moments in time where like people, whether intentionally or unintentionally, make you feel small. I will say that one of the moments that I felt most insignificant was when I was in a male-dominated field, and the notion was always, "Oh, you're just a woman, so you can't do what we can do," right? And that was probably, I want to say, about 15 years ago when the last man said that to me. And for a little bit, I allowed his words to really like hone in on who I was. And I thought, who am I? Like maybe that's really the case. Maybe I can't be as great as these other guys. And as I looked around and I realized there was so many other women in history who have been able to overcome and to succeed and to do, why would I think that I'm any different? Like, so I used all of the historical events that I could conjure up and think, man, these women fought for our rights to vote, fought for our right to have a bank account and to own a home, and I absolutely can do this field. And I was in the car industry. So I was selling cars at the time and not what I wanted to do with my life, but it was something that I was able to do as a single mom to provide for myself and my son at the time. And once I really started delving into all of these remarkable women, I was like, I can be one of those women too. So
I just love when when how can I say it, when we go back in history and we learn about these women that fought for us, like warrior queens, they fought for our rights. I'm actually getting chicken pox all over my body, but it's just so amazing that there is now a place where we can speak freely, like a Speak Up Queen podcast, where we can speak freely, where it's a safe space for us to tell our stories. But to just remember those women. I mean, for me, Florence Shovel Shin, she was like, I just love that queen. Like, I am like, I can read her books all day. Elsie Lincoln Benedict, like, these were really
yeah,
women that were they were really, we are in a man's world, but they were really, and they still
yeah.
made their stamp. They still made their stamp. 100 years later, we can still learn from them. We can still read their books because they were able to provide it in a format that we can now learn from it and get inspired by amazing women all over in history and to future ones. So that's why we are here. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
what safety resources, spaces, or tools have been most impactful for your healing journey?
So learning the holistic healing field, that was the most impactful for me. So I was really sick for a very long time. And not only was I sick physically, but I was sick emotionally and spiritually as well. And I stumbled across like the notion of holistic healing. And through that, I was able to see that there was an entire other untapped world. Like here in America, Western medicine is so prevalent and it's kind of like the end all be all for us. And I thought that that was kind of my life. I was going to always be on medication. I was always going to be sick. I was never going to be able to heal anymore. My generational trauma, that was just a part of my life. What I experienced was a part of my life. And when I was able to meet someone who said, "Hey, there's functional medicine, there's holistic healing out there. It doesn't have to be that you have to take a pill for this. You don't have to live within Western medicine standards." It truly transformed my entire life. I was able to not just heal my physical body and all of the ailments that I was going with, but I was able to heal my spiritual and emotional self. And through that healing, I was able to heal my physical body. And that's where like this beautiful light bulb came on that our mind, body, and soul are truly so interconnected. So doing things like inner child work and breath work and looking into functional medicine and going back to the roots of the way that our ancestors ate, eating seasonally. I could probably go on for days about all of the tools that has really catapulted not just like my career, but that's also catapulted like who I am now and what I've been able to do for my family, for my friends, for my community. It's like this beautiful thing.
I just love it to meet people that from all over the world and just hear how we are when we go back to our basics, listening to our bodies. That trauma is the body keeps the score. The body is trying to protect you when you're putting out boundaries. It is telling us actually amazing things. And when our mental health is not right, our physical health is also not right. Nothing works
Right.
together. It's not two separate things. It's actually things that's aligned. We need to take care of
Yes.
everything, of the whole us. Yeah. What was the first step you took to move from feeling silence to finding your voice, and how did that step change your life?
So I would say that the first step was starting with my home. So instead of feeling as though I couldn't speak to my significant other or speak to my sister or speak to my mother, these people who were intricately a part of not just my now, but my past and like evolved with me through different traumatic experiences, I had always had the notion that if I were to speak up, if I were to tell my truth or my emotions, that I would be seen as less than, or would they believe me? So when I finally realized that I needed to use the resources around me and my community around to become my authentic self with them first, it fueled my ability to become my authentic self to the world and to other people. Like then it was easier to say how I felt, and it was easier to express my opinions and my desires and passions because I had already started doing that with the people that I was closest to. And I think sometimes when we feel as though we have to be quiet, it's our loved ones and the people that are closest to us that we feel almost the most unsafe with. And it's almost easier to have a conversation with a stranger. And for me, I just felt like I needed to be silent in on so many levels. And once I started opening up to those who were closest to me, then I was able to open up to so many different things, to be on podcasts, to be on stages. And now I go on a stage and I talk to, hundreds of other women about how they can really transform their lives. And like all you have to do is take that first step to becoming a different and more healed version of yourself.
I love it. What's one powerful lesson you've learned about self-worth, and how do you carry it with you as you continue to grow and inspire others?
So I really truly believe that us having self-worth, especially as women, with us having so many different roles, especially in 2024, that if we don't really value who we are and innately believe that we are truly worthy of anything that we set our minds to, we can't fully be present in there for other people. And so once we realize that we are these beautiful, unique, intricately created and designed, soulful, powerful women, and if we tap into that femininity and tap into how awe-inspiring women are. I mean, our bodies and what they're able to do, our minds and our hearts, and we are genuinely these incredible humans, then we're able to pour all of that awe and inspiration and love out to everybody around us. If we don't believe we're worthy, how can we show other people that we are worthy?
That is like hitting the hammer on the needle. I don't know if it's an English expression, but in Afrikaans, in South Africa, we are talking about it. But I hope it is in English also a saying. But
Yes.
like this morning, I was so tired. I'm waking up at 3:30 for the interviews, going to bed at 10:30 at night, so that I can have my mission. And I really felt like guilty because I was tired. And then I realized that my worth is also, I need to show up as energetic, as positive as I just went back to bed, put on some meditation, and I just meditated for an hour. And now I'm like, I don't have to feel guilty for putting myself first because I can't run on fumes. It's not fair to you as the speaker for me to the host to be tired and not being like no. So we need to take care of ourselves, even if it's just a power hour where you just get back into bed and just put on some meditation, and just take that. And I was like, okay, today I'm not going to think about all the things that needs to be done. I'm like, focus on your body, focus on your body, breathe in, breathe out. I was like, I really had to say, this is my time, this is my time. And I really feel like
Yes.
women need to know that it is okay to take that 5 minutes longer in the shower. It is okay
Absolutely.
to lock yourself in a toilet for for extra 10 minutes to just have freedom for a while. So it's just small steps that is helping us in our self-worth, because I feel like sometimes these women that might be just starting their healing journey might think like, oh, but she's got it all. She knows it all. She's healed. She, and I'm like, I mean, this is what Speak Up Queen is all about, is showing up authentically, showing our vulnerability, saying that we are still making mistakes. We still, even though I know all the practices and I know the resources that is available, I still sometimes forget to use them, because sometimes I do
Yeah,
ignore. We do ignore things because it's like we know it, but sometimes we just don't want. I don't know. It's if it's a maybe my ego was in the way from getting everything done. Um. So yeah, it's just amazing that if women is starting their healing journey, knowing that there is, just be kind to yourself and just know your worth.
yeah. Absolutely. I agree. And I think the thing about it is, like, for people who are just starting on their healing journey, or people who have even gone through their healing journey substantially, like you said, we forget the practices that we have in place because sometimes we just think in our head we don't have time. Like, we can just keep pushing through, right? But even taking, like you said, that 5 minutes or what have you, I have to constantly remind myself, especially when my day gets busy, I have to stop and I take 3 deep breaths, like in through my nose, out through my mouth. I get my parasympathetic nervous system back into like rest and digest mode versus that fight, flight, or freeze response that we pretty much stay in 2024. And I say, I am worthy. I am the light. I am love. I can take this time. And even just that few minutes of like reminding myself, like, what are you doing and why are you here and why are you important? It like totally transforms the way that I think. And I've only been in my healing journey for the last 6 years. And I've made so much progress, and there's so much more of my progress that I can take. But it's those small little moments that taking a sip of your tea and appreciating like the luxury of how that feels. I mean, we truly don't have the time, but if we take the moment to just recognize how amazing this moment is, it can take us to the next moment and take us to the next moment, and recognizing that we need that just in general.
Oh, I love it. If you could tell your 17-year-old self one thing, what would it be and why?
I did you say my previous self? Is that what you
Yeah,
said? Or my
your previous 17-year-old. If you could tell your 17
oh,
year
17-year-old. Yeah. I don't know about you, but at 17, I was pretty darn dramatic. Um, so I would probably tell my I would tell my 17-year-old that despite any challenges that you may face, it might feel like the end of the world, and those feelings are valid, and your self-worth is never contingent on the things that you do. It's never contingent on what other people believe you to be. And you can make mistake after mistake after mistake and still be an incredible human being. So I think that's what I would tell my 17-year-old self. Because I thought the world was ending on a very regular basis, and I didn't believe that I would ever be good enough. And so I think reminding my 17-year-old self that you're good enough just in existing and just being here, and there's a purpose for you, would have made all of the difference for the way that I felt about myself back then.
Oh, definitely. If we could just go back, but
Yeah.
that's part of our healing journey. Is healing that inner child, healing
Yeah.
that part of us that wasn't able to. And I think especially if you're a mom, you are healing more parts of yourself when you have a child. It's like, it is filling my
Yes.
cup. And even when you serve someone, like this pickup when that I was creating, I said to my husband, like, this is making me lose all the trauma that's still stuck in my body, on my booty and on my stomach. I'm releasing it because it's like I am healing when I hear other women's stories. And when we serve and we are
Yeah.
here to empower other women, it's just something that is inside of you that it's like a fire and you can't get enough of it, because we are here to serve, we are here to help, we are here to inspire, to uplift. um so I must say, I think really our 17-year-olds would be so damn proud of how far we've come with all the obstacles that we have faced, the healing. I mean,
Yes.
healing is not an overnight thing. Yesterday
No.
I marked my 5 year, no, 2 days ago, I'm on my 35th birthday. I marked my 5 year starting my healing journey, and it was like I was so proud of myself. Like I was like, if I can't believe that I was 30 years old and I didn't love myself. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. Now I can't stay away from the mirror because you get so confident in everything that you do, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I think our 17-year-olds is really so proud of us. How do you set boundaries to protect your energy and peace? And what have you learned from this practice?
So for boundaries, I always reevaluate my boundaries probably like once a month, and then once every 3 months I write my boundaries down. So there are very hard lines that I give to myself, and it's boundaries not only with other people but boundaries that I set for myself as well. So like I know that there are certain things that I need to do in order to be the best version of myself. So things like for me, moving my body and working out is super imperative to not only my physical body, but my emotional and spiritual self. So I have boundaries put in place that regardless of how busy I am, I will move my body at least 4 times a week. And then that is a hard boundary that I put for myself. And it is something as simple as that to bigger boundaries with who I will say yes to and who I'll say no to. And when you sit down and you write it all out and you look at it, the intention behind everything that you're feeling, all of those emotions and everything, they seem a little bit more validated. Then you can like look at it, it's in black and white, and you say, okay, yeah, I feel good about those boundaries. And there are other times where I'll look at those boundaries a couple of months down the road and I'll say, you know what? That no longer has to be a boundary of mine anymore. I'm comfortable shifting and changing my course of action. Or, hey, I noticed that these last couple of months, I haven't been able to say no to things that I know I should say no to. Let's put a boundary in place and let's delve into why I feel like I couldn't say no or why I feel like I should be saying yes. And then I put those boundaries in place. So I think it all kind of circles back to knowing what your worth is and knowing that you can't be your most authentic and healed self if you are constantly breaking those boundaries. Every time you I always tell my clients, if you're going to set a boundary or set an intention, you have to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to honor that for yourself, because we're one of the easiest people that we can break our promises to. And it reaffirms in our subconscious mind that we're not to be trusted. So that the next time that we need to delve into our intuition, our subconscious is going to say, hey, I don't know if you're actually right because you haven't been able to keep those promises. So, like making sure that our conscious mind and our subconscious mind are really interconnected and that we're not telling our own bodies and our own mind that we can't be trusted as well. And so, that to me, that's why boundaries are so significant and important. It's because we're reaffirming that we can trust ourselves and that we are worthy of trusting ourselves.
I love it. I am like ready to to write my boundaries down because this I think that will be so much fun to have it on paper, and I'm gonna do it after this. I'm gonna write down my boundaries and I'm gonna put it up so that I can see it every day. Um,
Yes.
thank you for this. This is gonna be amazing. Um,
I love it.
how do you stay grounded when challenges come up now compared to before?
So I always circle back to my why. Anytime challenges come up, um, I don't know if you follow like astrology or if you follow the moon cycles or everything, but right now we're in a really hectic time. And one of the things is that we're having a lot of issues with technology, and that has been like a genuine thing for me. And so the challenges that I've had to face with keeping my business going with like computers breaking and this machine breaking, and it kind of seems like nothing's quite going the right way. I remind myself that this is a temporary discomfort, and that once I remind myself that it's temporary, I can get past it and move forward and say, okay, here are the challenges that I'm facing. How am I going to get creative in making them something that is going to be positive and works better for me? So not hyper fixating on those challenges is probably like the thing that I've learned to go away from. Before, if there was a challenge, I would hyper fixate on it and I would think that there's no other way to do it. And when you take a step back and you maybe move away from the problem and come back, you can see it in a different light. And so, yeah, I could probably talk about that forever too, but yeah, so I just think trying to find a creative solution and positivity in the chaos, and understanding that we might have to be comfortable being uncomfortable for a little bit of time to keep our control.
I love it. That make more sense because I'm struggling with my internet, and then every time it's
Yeah.
unstable connection, I'm like, I don't need it now. And then I'm like, hotspot my phone. So that it is like, I'm like, and I'm like, you know what? If we are glitching, then it's just the universe testing us and asking us, how much do we want this? And I'm like, I'm on a mission.
Yes.
There's no way stopping down now. So if you are unstable, it's a you problem, but I am stable now. We are doing this. So that
That's
makes
right.
more sense.
Yeah, it's the moon cycles.
Well, that makes more sense. How do you define thriving today, and what mindset shifts or practices help you embrace that definition?
So I think that thriving for me looks like waking up every morning and being excited to have the day come. And so every morning I wake up, and I will be the first person. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I am not a morning person. If I don't have a cup of caffeine before I start my day, before anybody inundates me with having conversations or anything, I'm just a bear. And I know that about myself. I know that I'm not a morning person. My household knows I'm not a morning person, but when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I think of in my head is, man, today's going to be an incredible day. And I don't know everything that's going to happen today. And it might be a super crazy busy day. There might be things that happen during the day that I know is going to happen that isn't my favorite thing, but I get to be alive. I get another chance. It's a new beginning. Every single day is a new beginning. And so to me, thriving is having that genuine, energetic excitement to exist every single day and to really believe that each day is a new beginning. And my practices for doing that is I do affirmations every morning. I do affirmations in the morning and I do affirmations at night. But my affirmations in the morning, the one thing that I found helps me embrace like my inner goddess is looking in the mirror and telling myself out loud how beautiful I am, how worthy I am. I will tell myself, I love you. I forgive you for the mistakes that you made yesterday. Today is going to be an amazing day. I look at my body. I reaffirm that my body is perfect and beautiful just the way that she is right now, that we are constantly working on being a better and more healthy version of ourselves. And that's a practice that I tell all of my clients. And it sounds really silly, but that simple thing can genuinely transform the relationship that you have with yourself and that like feeling of thriving. Because if you love yourself that way and you tell yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else says,
No.
you got it.
I can still remember the day when I was starting. It wasn't easy for me because I couldn't look myself in the mirror, and I would say, "I am enough. I am enough.
Yes.
I am enough." And I was trying to and then I was like, then I started standing there, and I was like, "I am enough. I'm beautiful. I'm mindful. And my husband is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm telling myself that I'm an amazing woman," and I'm like, and I know Lisa Nichols said she always asks herself, Lisa, do you like yourself? And she asks herself every morning, do you like yourself? And now I'm at that stage, I'm looking myself in the mirror, butt naked, because I want to see all my beautiful skin. And I want like,
Yes.
Marika, do you like yourself today? I'm like, Queen, I don't like you. I love you. So now it's
Yes.
just like you get so confident in your own skin because no one else can be. Your fingerprints is yours. Your voice is
Yeah.
yours. No one can be, someone can mimic you perhaps or try to be you, but no one, especially if you are showing up authentically, just you, and you don't need to pretend to be someone else, it is like so much fun to just find out who you are, who you as a person are, because we are really such amazing human beings. We are really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I love that. I love that you said the part about without any of your clothes because I tell all of my clients to do that too. I was like, "Oh, should I put that in there?" But everyone shies away from it, but really that's every part of your being tells a story about how you have survived and thrived and exist today. And if you're a mother, the transformation that your body has made. And if you're not a mother, just the journey into puberty, into womanhood, all of that is so incredible. There's so many different intricate pieces that create you as a woman, that looking at your entire body in the way that you were designed and created, it's like transformational. You see yourself in a different light. Those marks that you used to think were ugly or those little whatever imperfections, they aren't imperfections anymore. They're these beautiful unique stories and you realize that's me and I love it. So I love that you do that. I'm so happy that like you found that. And it started with I am enough. I got it. I like myself. And then it changed into this beautiful thing. And sometimes we have to say it even if we don't believe it. And that's
Yes,
okay too.
yes, definitely. Yeah, it's just amazing how healing can really transform and change your life. But you have to take the first step. You as a person need to say, you know what, I'm not going to be a victim for the rest of my life, or my past doesn't define me. it it's your responsibility to make that decision. No one else can make that decision for you. We on Speak Up Queen can tell you the tools. We can share what we have done, but at the end of the day, to the woman who's listening, it is your choice to make. It's not ours. We can just share what have happened, the incredible things that have happened, how confident we are in our butt naked skin, with our embracing all our flaws. But you still need to make that decision by yourself, for yourself, and for no one else. Don't do it for your mother, your children, your sister, for your husband. Do it for you, not for anyone else. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we have all of the ability within ourselves. I always tell people that so I'm a holistic healing coach and it's just my job to support you because each one of us have the answers within us. We all innately and intuitively know what we need. It's just about finding the confidence to bring that out and to make that mind body soul connection. And it's a beautiful thing once you can lead somebody to that. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's taken us how many years to get where we are today? It's going to take us so many years to continue that transformation and that healing process. But healing isn't the destination, it's the journey.
Yes. I love the journey. Like I said to my husband, this is the best part of this healing, because a month ago, that version of me was someone else. Yesterday's version of me is just like I am becoming each version, and sometimes it's a messy version of me. Like I can be overwhelmed and I can snap. We are not perfect and we embrace it. We are showing up, but it's just the journey is like making memories, but it is like, oh, that version of me last year didn't know how to do a podcast, even though it was just a month ago. She didn't even know how to do it. But now I am here on episode 32 and we are doing it. So it is like we must embrace the journey. We must enjoy it, because it's not an end goal of, oh, I want to be there at this age. Now I am like really waking up each day, and just like you say, we can be so grateful to waking up. And I don't know what's gonna happen today, but I do know that I'm gonna be passionate about what we are doing, loving myself, even if something happens still gonna love myself at the end of the day, still gonna say I'm forgiving myself for the mistakes that I've made because I am not perfect. So yeah, it's just I can go on for hours about but
Yes.
yeah, it is like anyway, let's just focus because otherwise, the last question. What made you decide to be featured on Speak Up Queen? And how does it feel knowing that there's a safe space for women to share their stories and inspire others?
Um, so when I first stumbled upon this podcast, the vision of allowing women to come in whatever version of themselves in whatever state that they're in, and to give them a voice, and your mission of wanting every woman to understand that they have this voice and that it's empowering, excuse me. Um, it literally fueled me even more. I knew that that was something that I wanted to do. And having the ability to like share space and hold space with you, and to know that I'm holding space with hundreds of other women worldwide. I mean, like, here you are, you're in South Africa, I'm in Wisconsin, and we get to be connected together in this incredible way. It's so empowering because nothing can stop women who want the strength, who want the future, who want to be the fire and to be the light for other people. Nothing is going to stop us, even thousands of miles apart, what, like oceans away from each other. And here we are holding this same space and the same healing energy and the same positivity. And all it takes is one woman hearing that one message to alter the course of like potentially our entire world. We hold that power within us every day to transform somebody's entire life. And they have the power to change someone else's life. So your mission just really spoke to me because here we are. We're changing lives
Yes,
by just being in the same space together. And I think that's phenomenal.
it is. Thank you for all your kind words. And it's just like the energy, even though this
Yeah.
is just a computer screen, but I can feel the energy. Energy flows. Like again, chicken pox. Luckily, I didn't shave because normally when I shave, I'm all over and I need to go again. So it is just this energy around to be surrounded by powerful, badass queens. I
Yeah.
didn't know that it existed. Like seriously, 5 years ago when I started my healing journey, I didn't even know what a Zoom meeting was, what anything was, that there was someone that would understand my pain, if I told someone what was happening, I thought that I was just alone and it just happened to me. And no one would understand me. And here we are, like you said, thousands of kilos away from each other, and we can have a platform where we can do this. And the
Yeah.
energy that it brings to us, where even though we are not sitting in the same room, we can feel that empowerment, we can feel that positivity. So it's just amazing.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Well, thank you so much, Vanessa, for sharing your incredible journey with us today. Your story is a testament to the strength, resilience, and courage it takes to not only heal, but to thrive. So, to everyone listening, remember that your voice matters, your story matters, and together we can inspire change. So, if today's episode touched your heart, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share this with someone who needs to hear this. So, until next time, Queens, keep speaking up and step into your power.